It all started with a drawing. Not just any drawing, but a drawing that actually had nothing to do with piñatas. I wanted to try three-dimensional drawing, so I decided to draw a row of teeth. That row of teeth needed a mouth, and then that mouth needed an entity. I tried to make it into an alligator, but then it just ended up as a weird, boxy alligator's head. And in the end, I thought, why not just draw some eyes on it, make it all cute, and then just make it a piñata? Yeah, let's just draw a few piñata things, make it all cute, and here we go. It wasn't until I had already established a few piñatas that I thought, why not just bring this piñata to life? And so that is what I did. With the task of cutting the cardboard, my biggest impediment was my cat. It's not that he was just incredibly cute and constantly putting himself in harm's way, but all of my attempts to get rid of him were consistently foiled. So in the lucky cases where he just lost interest, I was in fact able to cut, and in those where he wasn't, I was able to measure. But now that he's out of the way, we eventually cut the triangles for the monster's mouth, and we started to get a few shapes in order. The next order of business was making the fragile tape. After several hours of meticulous calculations and not following through with them, I finally got the yellow tape glued onto the box. Next, I started to measure the letters for the fragile label, and eventually I cut it out into a stencil. However, after quickly becoming impatient with filling out this stencil, I took matters one step further. My next task is to upgrade the paper stencil to a cardboard one for the purpose of spray painting. Now, as you can see, I did the terrible thing of spray painting indoors without a mask on, and so my chat reminded me, and so I put a mask on. After several small modifications and drafts of the fragile label, I eventually came up with one that was suitable for the final product. Now that I'm mostly finished with the cardboard design, I started putting it all together. An important part of this process is making sure you get the string through the body of the piñata before you close it off. It's possible to do it after it's closed off, but it's easier to just get it done early. Now I have a bit of a rough structure, but it's still a bit flimsy. That's fine. To close it off and establish structure, I covered the edges with cardstock. For smaller piñatas this is fine, but I should have used something stronger here. I then tied the mouthpieces to the body and made it somewhat loose enough to allow the mouth to slightly open and close. And at this point, I was starting to get pterodactyl vibes. Now the next part is something you don't often see in piñatas: shelves. For normal-sized piñatas, this is not a thing you would ever consider, but in my past experience, when you have a large piñata, just because you have larger piñatas does not mean that the cardboard you make it out of is stronger. So when you have a big piñata and you need to put big things in this big piñata, if you don't have shelves or something to hold the weight of what's inside, it will absolutely fall apart. I had to delay this piñata a month because these shelves weren't even enough. Next, the mouth. I cut about 4 triangles out to cover the inside of the mouth as well as the top and the bottom of the piñata, and because I wanted to spray paint the mouth outside, I first worked on the nose and the bottom. Oh yeah, the nose. That was the thing on the picture. Did you notice? Oh jeez. And I also covered the bottom with green construction paper, which was something I also regretted later, but at least the time lapse of me coloring this paper green is pretty satisfying. Now that the paint is dried, I fiddled the inside of the mouth on before grabbing the teeth. Now speaking of the teeth, let's enjoy the first full time lapse of the video. Now that the piñata's coming along pretty far, it's time to talk about the eyes. After buying spherical balloons at Party City, it was time to try out paper mache. Somebody mentioned just mixing glue with water, and well, so I just went with it. They also mentioned 5 layers of paper plus 2 additional layers of tissue paper, and I also just went with that. And so I tore out my old econometrics notebook and got to work. Once the eye was dry, I cut an opening to fit onto the piñata. Miraculously, the balloon was still intact, and it was neat seeing all of my wasted effort still legible on the inside of the eye. I tried fitting the first eye onto the piñata, and then went on to the second one. After finishing the paper mache and doing the usual cutting out of the eye, I made a very important realization about this eyeball.
Honestly, this looks like a helmet.
I'm a spaceman. Have you ever worn a fursuit before? Because this is how it feels to wear a fursuit. Like you're just in this, your own personal space. I'm not streaming, there's no one around me, and if there is, they can't touch me because I'm in my own space.
While basking in the joy of my personal space, I finished decorating the eyes before filling them with chocolate and attaching them to the piñata once and for all.
Look at you, oh, I'm looking at your booty.
Alright, so this next part is where it's finally gonna get to be super fun, at least for me, building it. Because this is where we finally finish this vision of a piñata. So I'm gonna start with just cutting a bunch of crepe paper of all different colors. And then I'm going to give you one last time lapse with royalty-free music to watch as this piñata becomes complete. Now, while I was putting on the crepe paper, I was also intermittently taking breaks to add all of the things to the piñata. And so we're going to do a rapid fire reveal just for you. So we have sweet tart rope, Lindor chocolates, a kickball sized tennis ball, toilet paper, a paper towel roll, a bag of ring pops,
sour,
trash bags, a sticky snappy hand thing, Tylenol, a bouncy purple ball thing, floss picks, a Wi-Fi password refrigerator magnet, a little Hello Kitty figure, toothpaste, scrub daddy, plug-in surge protector, fidget pens, a notepad, a bathroom cleaner, lip balm, baseball candy, a ruler, pre-poop spray, a push light, disinfectant spray, and, gathered a few months after the fact, a few eye-related things that I found when shopping for the gifts for my following piñata. Now, before we do anything else with this piñata, I do want to bask in the glory. I didn't take too many pictures, to my knowledge, but I want you to look at it from all angles that we have. It was a real beautiful thing. It was the first piñata that I made that had eyeballs, that had any life of its own. And so let's just take a deep breath and enjoy the view of this wonderful thing before the inevitable. But of course, this is the spectacle you wanted to see.
One hit.
It's unfortunate because I did not expect the eyes to go first. I was hoping that the light would fade from this piñata's eyes, but the eyes were the first to go. But at some point, hey, an even greater mishap happened. The first time that anything fell out, everything fell out at once, except for what was in the eyeballs. And so the eyeballs were then the lone target. But then once we kind of got the eyes out of the way, you know, we accepted the piñata for what it was. Something to hit with a Nerf battle axe. And so we had a grand old time just beating up a hanging box.
Nice.
With paper on it. And in the end, I got to practice my baseball swing, well, half-heartedly at least.
I didn't know you were a lefty.
I am.
Respect.
I don't know. I don't know. Oh no, he's climbing in again. What's he? Okay. Ah, damn it. Ah. Okay, Jesse, I want to see where he goes with this, but I also don't want him to destroy this. He's in the piñata. He's in it. What are you doing? Actually, it's not. It's just the paper just got detached from the side. It's easy to fix. What are you doing? Please do not eat what's in there. This is in. He's pawing at it now. Okay, so now he's like trying to get out, or he's trying to like. So thanks for that.